I guess I have to add myself to the stream. If I want to be live, I probably need to add myself to the stream. Well, hello, everybody. Hello, hello. It is Sunday afternoon, 4 o'clock Eastern Time, Eastern Standard Time. We are on live. We're going to talk a little bit about what the market has to offer for this coming week. All right. What is the market going to do for this coming week? Or what do we think it's going to do? Because listen, the market does what it wants to do. That's why I tell my traders all the time, please trade what you see and don't trade what you want to see. Trade what is in front of you, right? So that way you can see what's going on. We do our charting. We learn how to do that. But you want to trade what you see, not what you hope to see, right? You could want like, oh, I heard or I believe it's going to go up, and it just might, right? But it just might not. And it might not look like it right now. And if you're trading for the day, you definitely want to be trading what you see. All right. Well, let me start my live over here. Tell your friends, please pass the word. Tell them that we are live. Arlissa is live in living color doing our weekly. We're going to do today. We did all week last week. I did 2 o'clock lives. The plan is to do that again, right? Today we're doing 4 o'clock live because I had the opportunity to just create a video that was going to tell you all the stuff that was going to happen or could potentially happen in the market this week, or I could just do it live. And I decided I'll just do it live. Preferably, there'll be people here who will, interact, and they can be a part of it. Trishala Niece, I hope I got that. Trishala Niece, hey, how you doing? I'm going to show my screen a little bit. So if you are following me on Instagram, which is cool, but if you can jump over and follow me on YouTube, you're going to be able to see my screen too. I'll put the link in the chat. So that way, the link in his little stream, that way you can jump over to YouTube if you'd like, if you want to be able to share the screen. And I'm not going to be on the screen the entire time, but if you want to see what's on the screen, then that's where you'll be able to see it. I haven't figured out yet how to show the screen in Instagram while I'm on live on Facebook and YouTube. So somebody have any ideas on how to do that, you can definitely send them to me, and I will, learn it. I'll learn it. Yes, I will. I'll learn it. Hope everybody went to church today. Did anybody go to church today? Many of us, I know me too, used to just go to church at home because we got used to that during COVID. And now that we're going back in person, it's like, oh, yeah, we can go in person. And I enjoy it. I enjoy the worship and stuff of church. So I go in the mornings and the Sunday mornings. I still watch the people I watch on online because I like their messages too. So I still watch those people as well. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. Yes. So what is happening in the market? Where's the screen I had? I had a screen all up, or maybe I didn't have it there. Maybe I had it over here, and I did. Let me share so that way everybody can see. StreamYard. I'm going to share my screen so that we can all see. Share screen. Ooh, pick a screen. Allow. Yeah, let me see. I want to be able to see the chat. Is this YouTube? Well, it should be YouTube and or Facebook. So I'm going to say yes. Yes, you're here. You've made it. You have made it. I want to go back and grab this so I can, if I have comments, I want to be able to see the comments, right? Let me go back to, where was I? There I was. So if there's comments, I can see what people are saying. Oh, sorry. I see your message, Jamie. Yeah, okay, well, good. Jamie, can you figure out whether I can stream this screen to Instagram at the same time I'm streaming it to YouTube? Yeah. Okay, cool. That was our formal request. It's Facebook. So you either Facebook or YouTube. If you go to the YouTube or you can go to Facebook, you can see me in either place and you should be able to see the screen as well. All right. This is what's going on for this week as it pertains to the meetings and those kind of things. So when we're thinking about what's happening this week, we're thinking about what kinds of things or events or meetings or announcements could potentially move the market. These are things that pertain to the big market, to the U.S. market overall. There may be some things that are happening that will pertain, directly to the stock that you're interested in, and you definitely want to, on any given week, do what you can do to find out what news is coming with your particular stock. Okay. My community trades SPX a lot and XSP, which I'm gonna talk about that just a little bit later. But SPX is, the S&P 500. S&P 500 is many times moved by the big boys, as we call them. So Apple, as Apple goes, kind of so goes the market. As Microsoft goes, so goes the market. As Nvidia goes, so goes the market. Those are just three. Of course, that's not everybody. So what I'm saying is, you may want to know, if you're one who trades Apple, you may want to know what kind of news Apple has coming up, because that news will move Apple stock, and Apple stock does inadvertently move the S&P 500, right? Okay, even though there's supposed to be 500 stocks in there, it seems like some of the other ones have a much heavier weight, and they will move us around a little bit. So you keep that in mind. But here we are. I'm looking at the Forex Factory, and this is you can see the website at the top, Forex Factory calendar, and it's just basically telling you what stuff is coming up for this week, right? So tomorrow, which is going to be Monday, it's only a half day trading tomorrow, from my understanding. The market will close at 1 o'clock because it's a holiday weekend, but the market will open tomorrow at 9:45. We're going to have the final manufacturing PMI. At 10 o'clock, you're going to have the ISM manufacturing ISM manufacturing prices, construction spending month over month, and then all day you'll have this total vehicle sales thing going on. These red folders are the ones that kind of move the market. So let's see, what have an impact. Their higher volatility is expected. They don't move the market. They could, but higher volatility is expected on those red folders. The ISM manufacturing PMI is the Institute for Supply Management Purchasing Managers Index. And why do we care? We care, it says here, is a leading indicator of economic health. Businesses react quickly to market conditions, and their purchasing managers hold perhaps the most current and relevant insight into the company's view of the economy. All right, so that's why that's important. That is tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, red folder. One next to it, the manufacturing prices, is an orange folder that also kind of has that. It's a medium volatility. It's called yellow folders are supposed to be low volatility expected. Sometimes we see yellow folders that really do more moving than they put on right here. Tuesday, the market is closed. It is the 4th of July, and it will be a bank holiday. It will be the stock market holiday. However you choose to celebrate it, it'll be your holiday, your day off from work, maybe not. Either way, the market's going to be closed. What holiday you decide you're going to celebrate or not is really up to you. But I'm jumping off this topic. I'm jumping off this topic. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So Wednesday, all day we have these OPEC meetings. OPEC, OPEC. Let's see what those are, because when I looked at this, I was like, okay, what are those? It's the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Interesting, right? So the OPEC meetings are usually held in Vienna, it says, and they're attended by the representatives from 15 oil-rich nations. And they discuss a range of issues regarding energy markets, and most importantly, agree on how much oil they will produce. The meetings are closed to the press, but officials usually talk with the reporters throughout the day, and a formal statement covering policy shifts and meeting objectives is released after the meetings have concluded. Okay. The OPEC nations represent 40% of the world's oil supply and are unified in their oil production levels. Perhaps, because didn't we just see something not long ago about one country who decided they were cutting back on their oil production or something like that? It didn't sound like they had no OPEC meeting to talk about that. But the meeting happens on Wednesday all day. Notice it's a red folder because coming out of that could be some, potential high volatility. Again, we trade what we see on any given day. You're trading what you see, right? Especially if you trade stuff for the day. We're sellers in my community. So we open up trades in the morning or sometimes in the afternoon, and most times in the afternoon, to be honest. And then we close them at the end of the day, or we let them close at the end of the day. We don't really close them. We let them close, prayerfully worthless at the end of the day. So these kinds of high volatility things, when you're a seller and you're working with seller strategies, you want to be mindful of what's happening during that particular day. All right. We also have that day on Wednesday, 10 o'clock factory orders month over month. Tentative is the IBD tip, economic optimism. That's a yellow folder. A red folder, though, is the FOMC meeting minutes. This is not where an announcement will be made per se, but it says that this is a detailed record of the FMC's most recent meeting, providing in-depth insights into the economic and financial conditions that influence their vote on where to set the interest rates. So this comes after they've changed the rates. Okay, so he says here it comes 3 weeks after the federal rates federal funds rate is announced. What they changed there, we're going up, we're going down, we're sitting still. Then this meeting happens after that to talk about maybe was that move beneficial? Did we do something we should have done different? Maybe that's when they have all this in the meeting. Those minutes come out on Wednesday at 2 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, we have FOMC member Williams speaking. All right. Thursday, we're talking about employment stuff, challenger job cuts year over year, the non-farm employment change. Notice it's a red folder at 8:15. That's important. Unemployment claims, 8:30 a.m. We missed it last time, so hopefully they'll get it, a little better off this go round. Trade balance is there. The unemployment stuff is red folders, but they do happen before the market. But it seems like if it's what people want to hear, then the market moves up, and if it's not what people want to hear, then the market moves down. Okay, 8:45, FOMC member Logan will speak. 9:45, final services PMI. At 10 o'clock, red folders, ISM services PMI, and the JOLTS job openings. Those are both red folders. 11 o'clock, crude oil inventories. Now, I have found, even though this says it's a yellow folder, the volatility really is a little higher than a yellow folder. It's usually probably an orange. So 10 or 11 o'clock, that's what you got stuff going on there. And then Friday morning, before the market opens, we've got average hourly earnings month over month, non-farm employment change, employment rate, all that unemployment rate, is 8:30 in the morning, and then at 10:30, natural gas storage. That's all the stuff that's happening coming this week. But look at there's a red folder every day this week. There's at least one red folder. Some of them have several red folders in a day, but there's at least one red folder every day of this week. So keep that in mind as you're trading. If you're trading things for the entire week, you want to be mindful that these are sometimes what we call binary events that make things pop and jump and go and move. And you want to be, prepared for those things when you're placing your trades or preparing for your trades, which, by the way, is what you do on the weekends. The weekends is when you prepare for your trades. It's when you go and do your studying. The weekend is when you go and not back test, you go and kind of dig deeper into some things. That's what happens on the weekends. I read somewhere that the money is made on the weekends, and during the week we just execute. The weekends is when you revisit and reset your trading plan. You look at things from the previous week to see what went well and what didn't go so well. That way you can make adjustments in subsequent weeks. Losing is a part of the stock market, so we don't get per se bothered by the losses. It's just we want to mitigate them and keep our losses as small as possible. I'm trying to get the whispers up. It was up and ready, and just hold and steady, and then it decided it was going to go. But I'm looking at earnings. This week had like 3 things on earnings. It had I'm gonna stop sharing so what to let this fill in. But it had only three companies are doing earnings on Friday morning. 3 companies are doing earnings. Okay, I'm trying to stop sharing, but it seems like it just wants to keep going. There we go. Oh yeah. Earnings whispers. We've got it's spinning and spinning. Oh, here it comes. We've got 3 companies providing earnings or reporting earnings on Friday morning. Come on, graphic, you can fill in. Earnings Whispers is where we go to find that information out. Earnings Whispers, love them. Thank y'all for providing this graphic every single week so that we can use it to find out what I keep looking, because I'm looking between the 2 screens to see if this graphic ever fills in, but it doesn't seem to want to. Oh, actually, there's 4 companies that are providing. Let me move this a little bit closer real quick while I can see what's behind here. Ooh, we're going to present and we're going to share the screen. Come on now. There we go. You know, technology, it will do what you want it to do sometimes. Okay, there we go. I think we're live. Okay, so Thursday after the market closes, we have Levi's. Levi's is going to report then. Simulations Plus and Cura, I've not heard of them. And IPA is Friday before the open. But it's a very, very, very light earnings week. Probably because it's a holiday week and people are, maybe celebrating. Nobody wanted to plan to put their earnings out during a holiday week. So the only one that's reporting at this point of note is Levi's. All right, Levi's is the only one that is reporting that is a company of note. Let's move forward to look at the SPX chart to see what kinds of supports and resistance we could potentially have for this week. All right. Look at, when you do your charting, you're looking to see some support and resistance over the last few whatevers. So you'll know where price could potentially go and reverse. Let me make this a little bit bigger. If you've heard of XSP, if you've heard of that, put me a 1 in the chat. Or say I have me something in the little comments. Put something down there if you've heard of XSP. XSP. Have you heard of it? I'm going to put a little thing. XSP. Tell me if you've heard of it. Anyway, let's look here. Our supports, we've got a gap underneath here. I'm going to go ahead and make this bigger so everybody can see who's looking. Even if you're looking on your phones, you can still see what we're talking about. Hey, Gabby, you can see what we're talking about. This is just the past several days, which were maybe 10, 15, 20 days here on this screen. But looking at SPX, I'm looking at the daily chart, which means every candle here is a day's worth of data. The daily chart means every candle here is a day's worth of data. I usually make these green because they help remind me that it's a gap. Green for gaps. Everybody has their own little conventions. Edit properties. I changed this to green so I can see that it's a gap. And I tried to make it dashed. So that helps me also to know that that's what I was doing when I put that line. Because anybody who does charting knows you can put all kinds of stuff on your lines and on your charts. And you're like, what was this? What made me put this here? And what was this supposed to represent? And of course, you can write notes in here, which like I'm getting ready to do here in a second. I'm going to put a note in here. This is Thinkorswim that I'm using. I am a fan. If your first time listening, you'll just know I'm a fan of Thinkorswim. Definitely. I have me something in the chat. Okay. Let's see. What was I going to put here? Oh, a buyer's gap. I was going to put that there. Buyer's gap. Buyer's gap. Okay, so just below us, there's that. If we're looking for a support area, I would go, a gap will provide you some support because there's buyers inside of this gap. See how the price just gapped up between these 2 days? This was Thursday to Friday, and there's buyers hanging out in here. So if price comes in, it's probably going to pick up some of those people. So the buyer's gap will provide some portion of support. So when you're charting support and resistance, a buyer's gap or a seller's gap, whichever gap it is, will provide support or resistance. Some, but the stock market doesn't like gaps, so it will try to fill it. Question is, how long will it take to fill it? We don't really know, but it will try to fill the gaps that are created. This buyer's gap here actually there's a little bit of a seller's gap back a little bit on 616. There's a seller's gap back here that never got filled, and now it has widened into a bigger buyer's gap. But so just know that that's, the stock market SPX will want to fill that gap. Okay. Support is down here under the 43.28. There's going to be some daily support there that you can look at. Let me go back to my finger. I think this support, this resistance up here at the top is something I put in a while back, and I left it there because I didn't want to forget that there was potentially some resistance. I know that we're right in the zone because, let me make this bigger again so that way everybody can see what I'm talking about. Don't want to be talking crazy and you're like, what is she saying? What is she saying? Right? Come on, Cletus. All right, let me bring this back down so I can see where we are. Where we are currently. Where are we? Ooh, back. Oh, there we go. Sorry, you all. But this is the eye chart, I know. Forgive me for just dragging it along. Your eyes are going, where are we going with this? There's a resistance right here, and we're basically right in that same zone. It's gone up a little bit above it, but the resistance from 616 is still present. So that could let you know that it's right in the same, basically we've entered into the zone that would have been a resistance zone right here. The top of this resistance zone is the high of this candle. That's 44.48, right? 44.48. And we closed on Friday at 44.50. So we closed just above the top of this resistance candle here. Does that mean it will continue to go forward? It could. Usually what it means, though, is that since we're in some people call the sell zone or the resistance area, that usually means it will come on back down. That's what it usually means. But I was looking to see if there was some resistance. Let me put a line here. That way I know what I'm looking for. Nope, I don't want the text. I want a line right here so I'll remember, so we'll know where we were. I'm going to change this line color to red so that way when I drag to the other side, we're going to be able to see where we were going. I'm going to make it a little bit thicker so you all will know it's red. There we go. Now let's scroll ourselves back to where there may be some more resistance further back in time. And we look like if we get here to this May area, right in here, now I'll make it bigger and drag it back across. We're right here at May. That is why I put that line there. Okay. The red line is where price stopped on Friday, where it closed on Friday. That's the red line. Just above here, you see the top of this big candle from April the 21st, actually, was this resistance area. I put resistance at the top of the candle part. Some people go all the way up to the top of the wick. I remember, and you should too, that whenever you're charting support and resistance, you're charting it as a zone, not as a hard place. So like even from the resistance I just set back there where I said we closed at 44.50 and the previous resistance was 44.48, that's a zone. So 44.48 plus or minus 5, plus or minus 10, that's a zone. So it is So SPX is currently in the resistance zone or in the sell zone. It has come into that zone. It closed there. Again, the potential is that it would turn back around and it would go down from there because it's in a sell zone. That's the thought. And we're at 44.50, which we do know to be good resistance. 44.50 right around the area. We know that to be a good resistance spot. Support or resistance, because those two things can be interchanged. All righty. All right. Let's talk a little bit about XSP. I don't know if the chart's going to fill in right because it's been acting wonky on my Thinkorswim. But XSP is the baby of the SPX. Notice SPX was 44.50 and XSP is 445, right? I still wanted to say 44.50. It's 445. It is 10% of the SPX. It's I think it's just kind of, I won't say it's just started getting hyped. It's been around for a while, for a long time, but it didn't have the open interest and the volume and the trading availability that it does now. It seems to have a lot more volume, open interest. People are able to get in and out of it now. But you can trade XSP because it is cash settled. That's a positive thing. If you're looking for something that's cash settled, which means it does not have shares, right? If it doesn't have shares, at the end of the day, if you are in the money, you get your money. If you're a buyer, if you're in the money as a buyer, you get your money. If you're out of the money as a buyer, you lose all your money. But if you're in the money as a seller, you can be what's called assigned, even though there's no shares. So they basically, you just pay money. And if you're out of the money as a seller at the end of the day or at expiration, whenever that is, then you just get your money, right? There's no shares to contend with. We've traded SPY for a long time. And sometimes at the end of the day, you could be very close on your strike and the broker would close your trade for their own risk management. They would close it because they're talking about shares and you could be assigned shares after market closes. But if you trade a cash settled index or equity, then at the end of the time when 4 o'clock comes on for XSP and SPX, and there's a few others, RUT, and there's some other ones. But if something is cash settled, then when the market closes, it's done. You don't have to worry about is price going to run up after the market closes, because once the market closes, so does this particular stock. All right. XSP looks a lot like SPX as far as the chart goes because it's only 10%. It's got a lot of good reasons to trade it. I won't go into those really too much today. I'm going to do another video about XSP and how you can trade it as a seller. That'll be coming soon, so definitely be sure to watch soon for that to come. But if you're selling and you're doing credit spreads, XSP might be where you want to go look. The main thing is it's a one spread, so it requires less collateral than SPX. SPX is a 5 spread. You got to put $500 of collateral onto SPX minus your premiums you take in. But XSP is a 1 spread, so you only have to leverage $100 minus whatever premiums you take in. All right. Won't talk any further about that at this point. I'm going to stop sharing. Basically, I didn't really introduce myself from the beginning, but I'm Arlissa. And if you were here hanging out with me, know that I am the Educator to Trader. I coach and teach and train option selling strategies. I'm an option seller. Somebody's got to sell. If all these people want to buy options, somebody got to sell it to them. And that somebody is me and my crew. Me and my crew. We'll sell you options. We'll sell you calls, and we'll sell you puts, and we'll sell you some credit spreads. And we'll even help sell you some shorted stocks if you're interested. We'll do that too. You got to have sellers. When you've got buyers, you got to have sellers, and we're sellers. Along the ticker that's running under the bottom, you see the options 411 boot camp is starting up July 18th. We're currently in the 4 weeks of live training where I'm coaching the people who are learning options all the way through, then including the selling strategies that is currently going on. We do that every 4 to 6 weeks or so. We do a whole little spiel. We teach you options and everything, teach you the strategies for sellers. We even have a graduation when it's over. We even have graduation. So the Options 411 boot camp, though, is a 2-day introduction to options to see if you're interested, because you might listen to a little bit and say, I'm not interested in options. You might find out then it's not of interest to you. All right. So the boot camp is open. You can register for that at our website. All the courses that have to do with selling stuff, I do have all those trainings on the website, Educator2Trader.com. We have a Facebook group, Educator2Trader. Of course, I can be found on Facebook. I'm on Instagram at Educator2Trader. I am on, who am I? I'm on TikTok as Educator2Trader. And of course, I'm on YouTube. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. Like and subscribe to the channel. We're definitely growing it because we want to get the word out to option sellers. And that's what we are here. Hi there. That's what we're here to do. That's what we're here doing, is we're getting the word out. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, Educator2Trader. Put the bell on so that way when I put stuff out, you can find me and you won't miss anything. We're doing 2 o'clock live each day. At 2 o'clock, I'm going live while the market is open to talk option seller topics. Mondays, I talk trades generally, like I did last Monday, and I will again, tomorrow. Then we kind of visit those trades partway through the week, and then we look to close them out at the end of the week if they're ready, or if they haven't closed already. We do all that stuff. So we do all the fun stuff in the YouTube channel, in YouTube land. All right, so join us in YouTube land. All righty, I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover. If you've watched me on Facebook, and you should be able to see that every day I'm reporting what kinds of gains and what kinds of wins we're having. With those things, that strategy is a part of that book that you see running along the bottom, how to make 10% profits every single day using SPX credit spreads. That same strategy can be used on XSP. You have to, whittle it down some because SPX is a different animal. So we have to bring it in for XSP, but that playbook is available at spxplaybook.net for $27. And you can get the videos for a few dollars more. You can get videos to go along with it. All righty. I really think I've covered everything now. I really think I have. All righty. I want you all to have a really good Sunday evening, the rest of your Sunday evening. And look for us in all the social media places. All right. Look for me. All righty. I'm going to bid you a fond farewell. We do 2 things in this camp. We do 2 things. We stay green and we get this money. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.